Welcome to the Modular Clubhouse. I'm Jesper, and this is the Neutron Flux filter by Supercritical. The Neutron Flux filter is exactly the one filter to rule them all. It is a so-called variable character filter. So what that means is that you have several very specific filter characteristics that you can choose between, and Supercritical will go forward and release additional characters. So I've just uploaded firmware 1.2 on this module, which actually opens up the second bank of filter characteristics. So originally you only had 5 characteristics, now you already have 10, and now they're talking about adding a third one, so actually having 15 characteristics on a single filter module. So think about that. Just one filter with all of those characteristics. So you can have a Moog-like ladder filter, you can have a lean and mean acid filter, you name it, everything in one single filter unit. How many of these do you want? Because going forward, this is the filter unit you want to have in your modular setup. So that being said, what's the most important thing about filters? It's not about how they look, it's not about how they react, it's about the workflow, it's about the sound, and it's about how they work. So with that being said, I would say, here we go. The Supercritical Neutron Flux filter. There you have it. So what I want to do is I just quickly want to go over the UI, and from there we're just going to take it through all of the characters that we have and maybe play something. And I just want to show you all of the features and everything that this great module can do, because I've truly fallen in love with this, and it's it's just a great filter. I think it was on everybody's list for 2020 as the best filter out there, and I want to show you why that is. So I'm just gonna first show you, or let you listen to, what we are working with. So that is the Demon Core oscillator. That's going to be our sound source. So we have a pulse wave that we can be working with, and we have a saw wave as well, so quite nice. And we of course have all of the voices available that we can use coming from the Demon Core oscillator, but for now let's just work with just one single voice, because then we can better see what the actual effect of the filter is going to be. But rest assured, I'm going to add additional voices to it. No worries, until you guys get sick of it. So the other thing that we also have is we've got the filter itself as a sound source. So I'm just going to connect this to the left output. For those of you who haven't seen this yet, this is a stereo filter. So we can easily use, well, left and right. So if you only patch something into left, then right is normal to left, so no worries there. And what I'm now going to do is, because we don't have anything input, I'm just going to show you how to get this module to self oscillate. So I'm just going to turn the resonance all the way up, and I'm just going to patch through this from the cutoff frequency there. There you have it. Self-oscillating in fat. And if we then go to another one, the mean one is also self-oscillating, a nice wave shape there. Let's go to sour. Sour is all over the place. Liquid has a sine wave, so that's quite nice. And crisp has something that resembles something else entirely. We can't really get any sort of self-oscillation going if it's in the crisp mode. So let's go back to fat, and we're going to stay there for now. And we are just going to continue on with the explanation of the UI. Let's disconnect that for now. So as mentioned, you've got your resonance, we just use that, your cutoff frequency, you've got your frequency modulation, well, modulation to say that, and your frequency modulation input right there. So these two play along nicely. This is the actual mode. So this goes from low pass filter to band pass to, well, high pass filter. And of course the band pass itself, that will only work if the actual character that you're selecting will actually support that. So before we go any further, I do have to tell you that I'm running firmware 1.2 on the Supercritical Neutron Flux filter. That means that we can also just push the character selection button and we have 5 additional modes that we can work with. So I'm going to run through all of these, but first let's continue where we were working on. So we have the mode, the resonance, we talked about that. Then we've got drive, and this is now the right moment in time for me to connect the Demon Core oscillator to the left input so that it's now normal to both left and right. And we're in a low pass mode. Let's go to the highest frequency on the cutoff frequency, and you won't hear a thing until I open up drive and I connect the actual cable there. Of course, that's the moment when you start to hear something. There you have it. One thing you can also do is you can actually hold down the pause button until that red light turns up, and you add additional 20 decibels to the actual drive. So that will of course overdrive the actual sound that you're working with, but it's a nice thing to work with. And here we've got the stereo effect, and as you know, I'm running a 2-channel interface to record these. So one I'm using for my microphone, the other one I'm using to actually work with the sound coming from the Eurorack system or the synthesizer that I'm working with. So what I'll do is at the end of this video, I'll throw in some stereo, well, samples just for you to understand how the stereo, well, mix works, and you get that nice spacious experience as well. So then we've got some additional inputs. So you've got your mode selector, just put some CV on there and you can work with that. Your resonance, your character, so you can actually go through all of the characters by using CV, and you've got your stereo set in here as well. So you can have all of that in your phrasing or anything that you might want to have. And of course you've got your outputs. So that being said, I would say let's dive into some of these characters, and let's actually just go through all of them because we've got the time, right? So we're now in FAT, which is a more classical ladder Moog style filter. So if I just go from, and you hear that it's got some character. Let me just turn this up. There you go. And right now we are in a 4-pole mode, and we can of course go to other numbers of poles, and as you can see on the screen, this all will of course color the actual filter. So let's go to the next one. So this is the 1-pole mode, so that means the 2-pole ladder without resonance in the left channel. Okay, that's the one that we're on. This is the 4-pole ladder without resonance in the left channel. Go to 6, quite steep, but just listen to that. And go all the way to the high pass filter, let's listen to that. And of course the 8-pole, which means a series connected set of 2 4-pole filters. Let's add some resonance. Not too much. This is 2. And 4, which is the classic one. Nice, rich, and they call this fat, and I totally understand why that is. So then we can go to crisp. So crisp, we're now running 2 pole. There you go. Let's start with the just a bit of resonance. You see how this just eats through the frequencies, right? I like that. Go to 4. It's so extremely versatile. Just look at what the wave shape is becoming. Such a nice, steep. That's something you can really work with. And then we can do something maybe perhaps with the 6. Really steep. And the 8. So let's go to liquid. As you can see, this automatically goes to the 4-pole filter. So this is something I'm just going to turn the resonance down, turn everything down. There you go. So let's just quickly go through the sound. That's nice, right? So let's add some resonance to it. Great, isn't that? It's just beautiful to work with that. And then we've got several varieties of this, but I believe you will understand how this works. It's just great to work with. Let's go to the sour one. This one is described as acid. So let's listen to it. Let's go down. That's nice. And this will show its character when you add some resonance to it. Wow. The squelch is there. Here, listen to this, Just before we start to self-oscillate. That's just great. Maybe add something else here. So might go to the 3-pole. that's something you can work with, right? And let's go to the last one, the mean one. Let's turn this all the way down and let's just listen to it. So this starts to behave like a very well-behaved filter. It's got some coloring to it, but nothing fancy. But wait until we turn up the resonance and we hear what this thing has in store. Let's add some overdrive to it. For those of you who've seen my video on the Monotropa, well, this is what distortion sounds like. I love it. But even just below that, it's nice and crunchy. Crazy, right? I love that. Nice. So let's turn this all the way down, and then, well, because one of the fancy things that I'm doing is, of course, I'm showcasing the 1.2 firmware. So we have the additional so-called specialist tools available to us as well. So the first one is in the fat character, which is the dual band resonators. So let's start with number one. So number one is the low pass resonator. So let's we are in low pass mode. And resonance is all the way down, right? Let's turn the overdrive off. Maybe a little bit. And then if we go to 2, this is 2. Now we should have the bandpass resonator. So let's go to bandpass mode. Great. And you can do this for some of the others as well. Let's go to crisp, which is now the Chebyshev filter. So let's go to crisp. Let's turn this all the way down again. Chebyshev, and you've got your Chebyshev. I'm now in 4-pole setting, so this is the Chebyshev type 1. So let's see, mode is high pass. So let's listen to this. Maybe add some resonance. Yeah, the rippling is quite nice. If you look at the spectrometer, you see that it's just creating some harmonics to come. But if you then look at the oscilloscope, you see what happens, and you actually get those ripples in there. So this is extremely nice to see, all the way down to a single wave shape. Nice. So that's of course great. I'm not going to run through all of the pole settings there. Let's go to liquid. They call that phasers. Photon torpedoes, number 1. Ooh. That I understand. Just listen to this. Let's go to the 2-pole version. Here you go. And even though I'm now just doing this in a very static manner, I'm just going to play along a bit later on where I'm going to go through all of these as well. Just want to show you what we can do. So sour, that's the distortion modes. So let's turn this all the way down. There you go. So there is some distortion there. Maybe if I add some drive to it. Let me just turn the volume down a bit. There you go. And then last but not least, mean. And they call this the oscillator with a warning. Character is loud. Mode controls fine tune. Resonance controls the wave shape. Stereo can be used to fine tune the channels. Okay, so if I disconnect this, yeah, so I don't even need the output from that one there. So what controls the wave shape? Resonance. Now I lost it. So where is it? Now let's connect this back. There we have it again. Just nice to play around with, right? Let's go back to fat. Oh, there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a monophonic sound from this one. I'm just going to play something so we can at least listen to what we have. I'm just going to add some overdrive to it. add some voices to it. Back to the specialist modes. What a great filter is this, right? I've already spent almost 30 minutes and I still have so many things to show you, but in the interest of time I will probably just leave it at this and maybe do a follow-up video where we're just going to combine everything from Supercritical together and truly make a beautiful patch out of this, because this is just what the filter can do. I've shown you what the Demon Core Oscillator can do and the expander, but one of the things I still want to do is show you how this works together in a larger rack and a larger setup. And one of the beautiful things that you can do with this, it's just so extremely versatile. This is really the best filter I've ever seen, and I've seen so much already in my hands-on experience and all of the other videos that I've seen online, but this one is truly amazing. And especially if you consider that even though we now just have two colors to say of these characters, and they've already promised more colors to come, so yeah, this is going to be the gift that keeps on giving, I think. So I would say let's go back to the studio and wrap this up, but darn golly, what a great filter this is. So I truly hope everyone enjoyed this video on the Neutron Flux filter. This is of course the second video I've done on Supercritical, and I'm really impressed with their modules. The other one, the Demon Core Oscillator and the Demon Core Expander, really blew my mind. And I can say that the same thing is true for the Neutron Flux filter. There's a reason why I called this the one filter to rule them all, because this does everything. You won't need any other filter in your system except this one, or maybe you want to have a second one of this or a third one. But other than that, this can do everything. I haven't found any use case where you can't use this one going forward. So this needs to be on everyone's wish list. Other than that, I have no sort of negative feedback, no sort of downsides to this filter. The build quality is exquisite. The sound has been ginormous, to say the least. And if you've got any questions, or if you want me to run this through a very specific patch, or if you've got any sort of, well, what if this happens kind of questions, just let me know. Leave a comment below or drop me a line at jesper@themodularclubhouse.nl. And otherwise, I would just say, well, everyone, please stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you for my next video. And in the meantime, of course, make sure that you like and subscribe, because that will help the channel tremendously, especially in this, well, final set where we're hitting, we're hopefully hitting 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month, which I think is still doable. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you've got any questions, let me know. And other than that, I would say hope to see you soon. Cheers.